Hello everyone. In this module 27, we are going to learn about the Vygotsky theories of cognitive development, socio-cultural approach. After completion of this module, you will be able to know about the Vygotsky theories of cognitive development. You may identify the features of cognitive development, understand the form board test and level of development. Okay, let's see about Vygotsky. So Vygotsky was born in Warsaw. It is a part of Russian Empire and now it is known as Belarus on 17th November 1896, and he graduated from Moscow University in the year of 1917. The extensive research in cognitive development has led to his theory to be one of the most important of its kind. So he believed that the children's thinking is affected by their social knowledge. He believed that the children's thinking is affected by the social knowledge. Okay, let's see the important features of Vygotsky theories of cognitive development. That the Vygotsky believed that the culture of community in which child lives in a makes profound impact on his thinking. So, how society interpreted the objects, events, and experiences, etc., etc., was that knowledge of the cultural community is passed on the child by the parents, teachers, kid, and kin. So, as a result of assimilation of this knowledge and cognitive development takes place in the child. So, this is the essence of Vygotsky theory of cognitive development. In children's, language is most of the important tool gaining a social knowledge, and the child can be taught this socio cultural knowledge by other peoples via language, and this method are helping the child in the cognitive development. So Vygotsky defined the intelligence of the capacity to learn from the instructions. So that the capacity to learn from the instructions, which emphasize the fact that there is requirement of more knowledgeable from others. So that the more knowledgeable other persons or teacher, he referred them as MKO. MKO means more knowledgeable others. So MKO can be a parent, adult in the family, and teachers, instructors, and coaches. Experts or professionals later on after growing the friends and classmates and computer to can serve as MKO. Okay, let me see about the Vygotsky farm board test. So the young child and his fathers are playing with the wooden ties of different shapes and trying to fit them on inappropriate holes in a farm board. So the young child alone cannot figure out the various shapes can fit into the designed holes. His fathers described how each shapes can fit only into its same shaped hole. So the fathers offered him encouragement and helps him put a few pieces in their respective holes. So as the child grasps the concept of particular shapes of the wooden block can be fit into the same shaped hole, the father allows him to complete the task alone. So this is an example of social interactions influencing the cognitive development of the child. Okay, so upcoming video is helps to understand the concept of this particular topic. Let's see the video.
Lev Vygotsky was born in Russia in 1896 to a middle-class family. He graduated with a law degree from the University of Moscow in 1917 and taught secondary school after graduation. Vygotsky completed a research project from the Institute of Psychology in 1925 and wrote 6 books about psychology. He eventually pursued a full-time career in psychology as he wanted to pursue both of his passions, which were teaching and understanding how people learn. Unfortunately, Vygotsky battled tuberculosis until he died of it in 1934. His theories were initially repudiated by Stalin and lived on only through his students. But after the Cold War ended, his theories became widely known and adopted, especially in Russian schools. His big question is, how do cognitive and language development relate to learning? He studied contemporary theorists like Jean Piaget, Marie Montessori, and Sigmund Freud. Vygotsky wanted to understand how children can perform tasks beyond their own developmental level. He believed that cognitive development occurs largely due to social interactions, through children playing make-believe, and through the use of basic tools of intellectual adaptation, which they're taught by others in their culture. Vygotsky is considered to be the founder of the sociocultural developmental theory. After studying his contemporaries, including Piaget, he concluded that their theories were too simple and that learning came from external interaction and not a universal genetic process. Vygotsky attributed culture to developmental differences around the world. His theory was undergirded by the use of language and symbols within a historical context. For example, people in literate cultures may make lists or make entries in their calendar to help them remember things, whereas individuals in South America might tie knots and ropes to aid in their memory, or the Aborigines in Australia use ritual sticks to help them remember and teach history. Unfortunately, Vygotsky's theory was not complete due to his early and untimely death. Learning and development are
Vygotsky's theory of social development argues that community and language play a central part in learning. While Jean Piaget concluded that children's cognitive development happens in stages, Vygotsky rejected his ideas and believed that children develop independently of specific stages as the result of social interactions. Vygotsky claimed that we are born with 4 elementary mental functions: attention, sensation, perception, and memory. It is our social and cultural environment that allows us to use these elementary skills to develop and finally gain higher mental functions. This development ideally happens in the zone of proximal development. First, there is what we can do on our own. Then, there is the zone of proximal development, which represents what we can do with the help of an adult, a friend, technology, or what Vygotsky called the more knowledgeable other. Last, there is what's beyond our reach. To illustrate this, let us think of twins who were raised in a community in which boys are expected to learn and succeed, while girls are only expected to be pretty. At the age of 10 months, both have the ability to crawl and are in the zone of proximal development for learning how to stand on their feet. The more knowledgeable other, in this case the father, provides the boy with opportunities to practice in a playroom that he has equipped with scaffolding and other objects. The boy is encouraged to explore the equipment, and eventually he uses it to pull himself up. A few hours later, he's cruising along the structures, and a few days later, he's standing on his feet. The girl also has the potential to stand, but does not receive any support in learning the skill. When we compare the two, we see that while the girl is still trying to get up, the boy has moved into a new zone. He knows how to balance while standing, and now has the potential to learn how to walk. Both will eventually learn how to walk, but according to Vygotsky, the boy will be more skilled. The same principles apply to all learning and the development of higher cognitive functions, and only those learning with the assistance of a capable mentor can reach the full potential of their ability. Vygotsky therefore believed that inside the zone of proximal development, learning can precede development, which means that a child is able to learn skills that go beyond their natural maturity. He also established an explicit connection between speech and mental concepts, arguing that inner speech develops from external speech via a gradual process of internalization. This means that thought itself develops as a result of conversation. Therefore, younger children who don't finish this process can only think out loud. Once the process is complete, inner speech and spoken language become independent. Lev Vygotsky died of tuberculosis in 1934 at the age of 37. Despite his young age, he became one of the most influential psychologists of the 20th century. He left the following advice for educators. By giving students practice in talking with others, we give them frames for thinking on their own. What do you think? Can a child learn anything regardless of any developmental prerequisites? And do we learn only through social and cultural contexts? And if so, do you think it is appropriate for a more knowledgeable other to determine what a child should learn next? Share your thoughts in the comments below.
Thank you, viewers. I hope you may understand the concept of Lew Vygotsky theories of cognitive development. And next module, we will discuss about the assumptions of Lew Vygotsky cognitive development theory.